Today we are moving on to the second chapter in your supplementary reader, More Than True. More Than True is an amazing piece of literature which has been penned down by Rabindranath Tagore. The story More Than True by Rabindranath Tagore beautifully depicts the innocent nature of children. He gives children that special importance through Kusmi and her grandfather, who are the characters in the story. Now, look at the preface passage. I am going to read the preface passage. Listen. Grandchildren enjoy the stories told by their grandparents. Why does this grandfather say that they are more than true? Okay, being a child, you all are children. So, being a child, let me ask you a question. Do you like listening to stories, especially told by your grandparents? Yeah, definitely. I know that we all like stories told by our grandparents, because rather than reading something, hearing from them is something special and it has an elegance or beauty than any other thing. So we all love listening to them. Now it is asked to us that why did this grandfather say that they were more than true? Anyway, let us move on to the story to find out why did the grandfather say that they were more than true. Okay, so this is a small story written by Rabindranath Tagore. Anyway, let us move on to the story. I am going to read the first part of the story, so please listen. Grandpa, that more than truth you were talking about the other day, is it to be found only in fairyland? Not at all, my dears, said I. There is a lot of it in this world of ours. You only need to look. But of course, you must have the eyes to spot it. Can you see it? So, in the beginning of the story itself, a question was being asked to Grandpa by the child. Yeah, what was the question? Yeah, the question was the other day only found in fairyland or not? So, the question was about the other day. So, grandfather used to say every time about the other day whenever he narrated a story. So, he was every time saying about the other day, and the child was quite doubtful that the things that the grandpa was narrating would happen only in a fairyland or on this world. So, naturally, the child raised such a question when the grandfather just mentioned that particular phrase, the other day. Then what was the reply from the grandfather? Yeah, he replied that they shouldn't think that what he had told about the other day is only found in fairyland. And he added that there were a lot of things that happens in this very world of theirs. The only thing they have to do is they have to spot it. What does it mean? They have an observation power, or they have the ability to see such things, or they have the ability to see it. Then the children asked whether he could see it or not. Then what will be grandfather's reply? Anyway, in order to find grandfather's reply, let us move on to the next paragraph. Here I am going to read the next paragraph. Listen. That's one power I do have. I suddenly catch sight of things that are not meant to be seen. When you sit by my side learning your geography, I remember my own studies, that Yangtze Kiang river of yours. Every time I read the name, it conjured up a kind of geography that was absolutely no use in passing exams. Even now, I can see that long caravan with its enormous load of silk. I once found a place on the back of one of those camels. Now, what was the reply from grandfather? Grandfather said that he has the power to see things that are not seen. And he added that when the children were sitting by his side and learning geography, he did remember his own studies. Then he mentioned the name of a river and added that whenever he had read that name, that evoked a kind of geography that was no use in passing exams. Then he said that even now he could see that long caravan. What do you mean by caravan? Caravan is actually a procession of travelers, especially camel crossing a desert. So he said that he could see the long caravan passing one after another with enormous load of silk. And then he added that once he climbed onto such a camel, which was passing or which was crossing a desert with enormous load of silk. Actually, they were not real things. It was only imagination. We had been already told that grandfather has the power to see, or grandfather has the power to spot things that are not seen or visible. So this is what happens here. He was simply these were not real things. So he was simply saying from his own imagination. Okay. Now let us move on to the next page. Listen. Come off it, Grandpa. I know you never rode a camel in your life. Really, Didi, you ask too many questions. So then the children said that they know that he never rode a camel in all his life. So they demanded him to leave it. They said that we already knew that you were lying. So leave that topic. So they demanded him to leave that topic as they knew that he was lying. Really? Didi, you asked too many questions. Then he resisted and told them that no, it was true. It was true. And he added that she was asking too many questions. Never mind. Go on. What happened then? Where did you get a camel from? There, another question already. I never worry about finding camels. I simply climb onto one. Whether or not I visit other lands, nothing stops me from traveling. That is the way I am. Then the other child said that, never mind, Grandpa, you don't need to pay attention to her. You please carry on. Now please tell me, what happened? Then tell me, where did you get that camel? Where did you get the camel from? So in that way, Grandpa got another question from another one. Then Grandpa added that he never worried about finding camels. If he wished to do, he simply climbed onto one. Then he added that whether he did visit other lands or not, nothing stopped him from traveling. That is the way he was. Yeah. So from this point, we could find that all his sayings were only imagination. So that is what here he just mentioned, that he never worried about finding camels. If it had happened really, he would have definitely worried about finding camels. But here he simply, here it is said that he never worried about finding camels. So from that point itself, we could simply understand that all his sayings were only imagination or daydreaming. That then listen, well, what happened after that? So here we could find that even though it was imaginary, even though it was not real, whatever the grandfather told was not real, the children were curious to know what happens further. So they asked, tell me or tell us what happened then. So in that way the children were curious. Then look at the next part. After that I passed through so many grand cities one by one. Fuchung, Hangzhou, Chongqing. I crossed so many deserts, finding my way at night by the stars. And then I came up on the jungle at the foot of the Ushkush mountains, past olive groves, through vineyards, along pine forests. I fell among thieves, and a great white bear rose on its hind legs in front of me. Then the grandfather gave a detailed narration about the places he visited. Fengchun, Hangzhou, Chongqing, all these were Chinese places, and also the experiences he had. He crossed many deserts, and he find out the way by looking at the stars. Then he visited Ushkush mountains. Then he had seen past olive groves. What do you mean by groves? Small forests. Then visited vineyards, then pine forests. Then sometimes he was caught by or fell among thieves. Then sometimes he was happened to be before a white bear rose on his hind legs. What do you mean by hind legs? Rear legs, the back legs in front of him. So sometimes he was among thieves, and sometimes the white bear appeared before him. All these were his experiences. So in that way he just mentioned about the places he visited, at the same time about the experiences he had while he went through these places in his imagination. When did you find the time to wander like that? Oh, I traveled while the class was busy with their exams. But how did you pass the exams then? That is easy. I never did pass. Alright, get on with the story. So, then the children expressed their doubt. Grandpa, you mentioned that you rode many places. Then we have a small doubt. When did you find the time to wander like this? Grandpa replied, oh, that was very easy, or that was very funny. I traveled when the class was busy with their exams. So, the grandfather was almost like you people. When the exam was going on, grandfather was simply imagining as if he was going to somewhere else, or he was simply daydreaming, like you also did while the exams were going on. Then how did you pass? I never did pass. Oh, it was like that? Very interesting, very funny. Yeah, wonderful grandfather. Oh, you are wonderful grandfather. Let us continue the story. Now let us move on to the next page. Now shortly before I set out on that journey, I had read in the Arabian Nights about the beautiful princess of China, and wonder of wonders, I chanced upon her in my travels on the banks of the Fuchavu River. The landing place was paved in marble and leading up to a pavilion of blue stone. There was a chambak tree on each side, with a stone lion at its foot. Incense burned in gold censers and the smoke rose in coils. One maid was doing up the princess's hair, while two others fanned her, one with a yak's tail. I somehow appeared before her all of a sudden. She was feeding her milk-white peacock with pomegranate seeds. She gave a start and asked, "Who are you?" Then the grandfather said that before he go out on that journey, he just read Arabian Nights, actually a story, and it was actually a story about the beautiful princess of China. So soon after he completed the story, grandfather himself made as a character in the story, and he said that, I chanced upon her in my travels on the banks of Fuchavu River. What do you mean by chanced? Befall or happened or discovered. So after completing the story, as I said, Grandpa himself made as a character in the story, and he suddenly happened to be before her on the banks of the Fuchavu River. And it is said that the landing place was paved in marble, leading up to a pavilion of blue stone. What do you mean by pavilion? Pavilion is actually a temporary shelter. So the landing place was paved in marble. It was very beautiful, and it was leading up to a temporary shelter made of blue stone. So it was very it was in a very grand manner. There was a chambak tree on each side, and he could see a chambak tree on both its side, and with a stone lion at its foot. So there was a chambak tree on each side of it with a stone lion at its foot. The incense burned in gold censers. Incense is actually a perfume, and the perfume burned in gold censers. Censers is actually an ornamental container for burning incense, especially during religious ceremonies. And the smoke rose in coils. Coils means and the smoke rose up to the sky in like in reel. Reel means in a round shape. So the smoke was going up in a circle shape. That means he could feel the smell of perfume burned in an ornamental container, and also he could see the smoke which rose up the sky in a circle shape, and these smokes were produced when the perfume was burned in gold censers. And there were two maids who were taking care of the princess. One was actually taking care of princess hair, and the other was actually fanning her. Fanned her means in those days there was no electric fan as such, so there was actually a person doing the function of an electric fan through his or her own hand, and the person was actually fanning with a yak's tail. I somehow appeared before her all of a sudden. Suddenly I appeared before, then the grandfather said that suddenly he appeared before the princess. At that time she was feeding her milk-white peacock with pomegranate seeds. At that time she was actually feeding her peacock. Then suddenly she asked who he was. I remembered in a flash, I was the crown prince of Bengal. Now, grandfather said that he remembered his answer in a sudden flash. Yeah, he suddenly replied to the princess that he was the crown prince of Bengal. How could that be? You were only. Then the children interrupted. How could that be? Yeah, you were only an ordinary man. Yeah, our grandfather. Then how could you be the prince of Bengal? Question again. I am telling you, I was the crown prince of Bengal for that day, and that is what saved me. Otherwise, should have had me thrown out there, and then instead she gave me a tea in a golden cup, tea laced with chrysanthemums bearing the most marvelous scent. Question again. Grandfather remarked that, question again. I have already told you that don't ask questions. These were all mere stories, so there is no point in asking questions. He said that, he said the answer simply that he was the crown prince of Bengal for that day. And he added that that answer actually saved him. Otherwise, the prince would have thrown him out. But instead, when he said that he was the prince of Bengal, or he was the crown prince of Bengal. Crown prince means, the one who is eligible for succession of power. He was happily accepted by the prince, and the prince actually gave him a tea in a golden cup. Only given to some elite Gus. So that means, the grandfather was trying to say that, only because he made such a comment, he said that he was the crown prince of Bengal. He got a royal welcome there. That is what actually the princess gave him, a tea in a golden cup. A golden cup is specifically emphasized there, golden cup. So that means the princess accepted or treated him as a royal guest, and he was being offered a tea, that too in a golden cup laced with chrysanthemums bearing the most marvelous scent. Tea laced with, tea laced means tea combined with chrysanthemums bearing the most marvelous scent. And there was a speciality, and the tea was combined with chrysanthemums having the most marvelous smell. Now let us move on to the next page. Did she marry you after all that? Now that's something very secret. Nobody knows to this day. Then children asked him whether she married him or not. Grandfather hesitated to tell the truth. Then Kusmi clapped her hands. It happened, I know it happened. You married the princess in the very grandest way. Then Kusmi clapped her hands and said that she knew that it had happened. The grandfather married the princess in the very grandest way. Plainly, she would be very upset if it didn't work out like that. Yes, in the end, she married me all right. I got my princess Anjani and half the kingdom of Hangzhou as well. Then the father admitted that she married him and he got the princess and half the kingdom of her, maybe as dowry. And then the children prompted him to continue the story. Even though it was a mere imagination, it was very nice to listen to such stories. Then what? Did you set off on your camel again? Then tell me what happened next. Did you set off on your camel again? Children asked whether he returned back or not. Else, how did I come back to be your grandpa? Yes, I climbed back onto my camel, the camel that went nowhere. Don't ask such foolish questions, dear children. Definitely, he said. If not, how did he come back to be their grandfather? He climbed back onto his camel, the camel that went nowhere. That means, as it was only an imagination. Then the Fusung bird flew caroling over my head. Then he said that the Fusung bird flew near him and caroling means singing and started singing in a joyful manner over his head. Then the children got surprised. Fusung bird. They were actually hearing the name for the first time, so they got surprised. They asked, where does it live, grandfather? Where does it live? Oh, it lives nowhere, but its tail feathers are blue, its wings yellow, and there is a brown patch on its shoulders. They flew off in great numbers and perched on the hangjang tree. Grandfather answered that it lives nowhere, but its tail feathers are blue and its wings are yellow, and there is a brown patch on its shoulders. They used to fly in groups. They flew in great numbers and perched on the hangjang tree. What do you mean by perched? Perched means rest, and they rested, and they used to rest on the hangjang tree. I have never heard of the hangjang tree. Nor have I. I only just thought of it as I was telling you the story. Then one among the children replied that he had never heard of it. He had never heard of a hangjang tree. Suddenly, grandfather said that he too had no idea about the hangjang tree. He too did not have heard of it. And he added that he just mentioned the name of a tree as he was telling them a story. That is the sort of person I am. I am never ready beforehand. I tell you whatever I see, even as I am seeing it. Today, my Fusung bird has flown across the sea. I haven't had news of it for ages. Then he added that is the kind of person he was. He never prepared anything in advance. Instead, he used to tell whatever he saw instantly, or he used to narrate as if he was seeing it. And then he added that he hadn't any news of the Fusung bird for ages, as it had flown across the sea. But what about your marriage and the princess? I won't answer you that, my dear. So you had better stop asking. And anyway, you mustn't let it upset you. You weren't even born then, remember. Then the children asked, what about your marriage and princess? You already mentioned something about your marriage and princess, but now you are not at all saying anything related to that. So tell me, what about your marriage and princess? So, in that way the children were rather confused as they lost continuity. Once there was princess marriage, then everything left, then the camel was there, all of a sudden everything left and a bird came and occupied their position. So, in that way children lost connection. So, as they were losing the connection, they inquired about the marriage and the princess. Then he replied that you don't need to get too much upset by thinking about the story. I won't answer you that. So better stop asking. I have already mentioned you that there is no point in asking questions because it is a story. It is all about mere imaginations. So there is no point in asking questions. So I won't answer you that. So better stop asking. And remember one more thing, that you weren't even born then. So in that way the grandfather resisted every questions that came from the children's side. So at this point Rabindranath Tagore's story ends here. So it is all about the innocent nature of children, and at the same time the story revolves around the fact that children always love to listen to their grandparents, and they love to listen to stories narrated or told by their grandparents. So the question answers will be sent to you soon after the class. Anyway, before I send the question answers, it is better to go through the exercise portion and find out the answers by yourself. I hope that you understood everything we discussed today. So I think this is a time to wind up. Anyway, thank you. Have a nice day. While I have been taking the class, I have already mentioned the meaning of all those difficult words we have come across this story. Anyway, I am going to share the meaning of all those difficult words which we have come today in our class. Anyway, you have to note down all these words along with their meanings in your notebook, and you have to by heart it. That would definitely enrich your vocabulary. Now I am going to share all the meanings of all those difficult words. Now please look at. Conjure means to perform magic tricks or evoke. Then caravan, a procession of travelers, especially camels, crossing a desert. Then come off means leave. Grove, a small forest. Then hind, located at the rear. Then set out means to start. Then chanced, to happen by chance. Then pavilion, an ornate tent. Then incense, a perfume used in the rites of various religions. Then censer, an ornamental container for burning incense, especially during religious ceremonies. Then coil, something in the form of a spiral. Then lace, to interweave. Then chrysanthemums, any of many flowering perennial plants. Then caroling, singing in a joyful manner. Then patch, a small, usually contrasting but somewhat different part of something else. Then the last one, perch, to rest on. So please make sure that you have written all these meanings in your notebook, and also make sure that you have gone through it very well. Okay.